Hi guys, this is Jay from poker-coach.net. Today I'm gonna be reviewing a session played by one of my students a few months ago. This is a student I've been coaching for a few hours, and yeah, we were mainly working on his 6 marks game, his 6 marks poker game. When I started coaching him, he used to play 200 NL, and we've been working a lot together. And during this session, he plays 600 NL, 1K and 2K, no limit, all them 6 max. So yeah, before we start, I'd like to thank this website, casino-poker-sport.com, which is the website that decided me to start recording poker videos. And yeah, you can find many poker vids on this website. You only have, well, first of all, there are many free vids. Here you go to you click on share with people, or you don't even have to click. There you can see free videos. And you can also create your own premium member account for free, and then you will have full access to all their videos. And yeah, I've been recording several premium videos there, and I know they have good content, and yeah, they are doing a great job. Moreover, here is my website, poker-coach.net, and if you ever have any question about this video or whatever, I mean the coaching packages or anything, if you want to know anything about me, who I am, my poker stats, and you can even contact me here. So yeah, that's the place, poker-coach.net. So now we're gonna be reviewing this video played by Xantis, which is my student. Here is Xantis. He played this session on the Ongame network a few months ago. So yeah, just before we start, I think maybe the tables will move a little bit during the video, so anytime the table will be table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5. So yeah, the top left table will always be number 1, and the bottom right table will always be table 5, 6, 4, whatever. I don't know the number. Right now it's table 5, obviously. Okay, let's go. So Xantis, I guess, is starting his session because there's no HUD on this table 1. So yeah, first hand is defending ace-8 suited. He's calling before the flop, so that's pretty standard. Against whoever, I don't know. We haven't got any information about on this opponent, Fuya Mom. Xantis flops top pair on a monotone board, so he calls. Second barrel from Fuya. I guess it's pretty standard to call again, but the bet sizing is pretty high. He's been betting $210 in, I guess it was 230. And now Xantis 3 barrels, pretty high bet sizing again. He's betting something like a little under 80% of the pot. it's very opponent dependent. I mean, at the moment we haven't got any statistics, so we don't know the betting patterns of this opponent, so it's very hard to say anything. Of course, if it's a lag player, very large aggressive, will be more inclined to call. If it's a very tight player or even a nitty player, of course, will be very inclined to fold, because yeah, this bet is pretty scary. But yeah, I can't say much now because we don't know anything about Fuya. So Xantis calls, and Fuya 3 barrels as a bluff with a little pocket pair, pocket threes. He didn't even have the flush draw. He got the gut shot straight draw on the turn, but it was very weak. A very weak draw. Table 1 again, 8-7. He sent me a few notes on the players, and he told me that when there was green notes at the table, that used to mean that it was the weaker player at the table. So I guess DM was the weaker player. Table 4 pocket 5, so it's an open raise, of course. Small blind versus big blind. The big blind 3 bets. We almost have no stats on him, so pretty hard to say anything. Xantis chose to fold. They were playing 120 big blinds, so he might have called. He might have called to play his equity. Of course, if you're facing a very aggressive opponent, playing your equity out of position will be very hard, as in the position of small blind against the big blind. For betting the pocket fives would have been, well, in such a case we have no information on Manu. Manu was the one who, the player who 3-bet Xantis, so it's hard to say anything. But yeah, of course, when a very aggressive opponent is abusing of 3-bets in such a situation in the blinds battle, you can of course 4-bet call with your pocket pairs such as pocket fives. But first of all, in this case we didn't have any information. Second of all, Xantis was playing 120 big blinds, so for these two reasons it would have been of course a very bad idea to 4-bet call with pocket fives. Table 3, standard open from the cutoff with Jack 10. So as I said earlier, Xantis a few months before this video, before recording this video, I guess 4 5 months before recording this video, Xantis used to be a 200 no limit hold'em player, and he moved pretty easily. He felt like he needed some coaching, and indeed he needed some coaching, but once we solved one or two things, he improved his game very quickly. I mean, by himself. And so I coached him so that he could move from 200 to 400 NL, but very soon he moved to 600 NL, and then I coached him once again to move from 600 NL to 1K, to play 1K 6 max. And so that's when he recorded this video when we were working on his game, on his 1K game. We also played together, I mean, we also worked together on his heads-up play, on his heads-up game. I don't know if we're gonna see that during the video. I guess we won't, because it's a 6 max video, and I don't think that he would play heads-up. Ace Queen on the table 1. It's a I guess it's a fold. It's a correct fold. I mean, that would have been nice to see the stats. We're gonna see that once again. So green is at the bottom, and well, it's a reg. It's not I mean, he's not a 3-betting monkey. He's only 3-betting 8% of his hands at the bottom, and yeah, I don't think that there's a ton of money to 4-bet ace queen there, because I think his stats seem to indicate a pretty honest 3-bet range, and ace queen out of position will play very poorly against such a range. So I guess it's a good call. It's a good fold, sorry. Moreover, we can see that green was not 3-betting like the cutoff or even the hijack, a lag hijack. No, he was 3-betting a player which seems to have very well correct statistics. I mean, 26-17. So he seems to be a tag. Maybe he's weak, I don't know, which would be a reason for green 80 for green to 3-bet him light. But Betterman, well, we don't know much about his tendency to fold against a 3-bet, but if we assume that is a tag and is not folding too much against a 3-bet, there's no reason to think that green is 3-betting light attack player open raising from the early position. So far I guess it's a good fold, because if Xantis had 4-bet, I mean, would it be a 4-bet fold? I guess ace queen plays very poorly against a shoving, the green shoving range in such a case. I mean, if Xantis at 4-bet, Betterman folded and green shoved, 5-bet shoved, I mean, ace queen has got a very poor equity, I think, against such a range. So I suppose it would have been a 4-bet fold, but I think the fold is correct. So yeah, as I was saying, during this period, Xantis used to play mostly 1K and sometimes 2K, NL2K. So table 1 is a 2K table, table 2, table 3, table 4, table 5 are all 1K tables. I used to know this network, so maybe I could say a little bit what I know from the players I can see there. Well, in fact, I don't know many players. I know green, which is a reg player from the Ongame network. At Ongame, there was a, I don't know if it's still the case, but there was a game which was to change the screen name every like every month or every 2 months, or many players were changing screen names, and it looked like you were playing a new opponent, but in fact it was a reg who had changed his screen name. Table 3, queens, a pair of queens. At the bottom, of course, it's a 4-bet call for sure. We can see that Xantis has got an open raising strategy at the bottom. I think it's very good. Pair of aces, table 4, I don't know. Yeah, okay, he calls. I think it's the correct play. You can hope for a squeeze from any of the other players, and maybe a 3-bet would have scared kicker, which is the open raiser here. Table 3, Xantis only calls in position against the entered again with ace queen offsuit. It's correct. The end of the gun is a short stack. Table 4, Xantis flops top set. I mean the nuts on a very drawy board, and Betterman dunks. Most of the time it will be a draw, of course. He could have 3-bet. I guess he didn't want to lose his customer, but he could have 3-bet heavier, because there can be there might be very big draws. Table 5, pair of king and the gun. Of course, it's an open raise. So now the question is, should he value bet all in river with such a board? Well, of course, our opponent might have an 8, but you know, it's still better, man. We don't know many things from this player, but we haven't got any information. But I guess most of the time our aces, our set of aces is good. It would be a thin, not too thin, but it's a thin value bet, and maybe Betterman can get paranoiac. I mean, with like 2 pairs, he can have 2 pair on such a board. He can have, well, his 2 pair will most of the time be something like Jack 10 or Jack 7, and I guess he would fold. He would fold against a show, of course. So when I'm thinking about his range, he can't have many 2 pair, I think, because his range, I guess, might be lots of king X of diamonds, queen X of diamonds, of course 8x of diamonds, but yeah, no, I don't think a thin value bet shove would get called by worse hands very often. So yeah, of course he can value bet shove other thin value bet, but I guess he won't get many calls. So he can also check back, because most of the hands that would call, although I don't think there are many 8s in the betterman's hand, but yeah, I think most of the time when he's gonna get called, he's gonna be beat by a straight, and betterman falls. Okay, table 5, of course, pair of kings, we call the shove, and he wins. So table 3, when he flopped 2 pairs with ace queen, he tried to value bet, but his opponent folded the turn. I don't know why he doesn't reload here. It's important if you're playing a tag strategy to be playing 100 big blinds. Table number 5, he opens pair of 4s, flops a set, c-bets, and gets a fold, unfortunately, from the big blind. Table number 3, he doesn't c-bet his pair of 8s. I think he should, because he won't get check raised so often. He wants to put control, I guess. Table number 5, pair of kings on the button, of course, facing a 3-bet. It's a 4-bet called. it's a 4-bet call. Oops. He got a problem recording his video. Unfortunately, we didn't see the... I'm sorry, I can't do anything. It's the original file. Okay, so the opponent... I guess the opponent... Let's see that again. I guess he called the 4-bet out of position. Yeah, he called the 4-bet out of position. And he check raised. He check raised with the open-ended straight draw. And unfortunately, Xantis lost this hand. Unless he was favorite. 66%. Okay. On the table number 3, Betterman barreled again the river when the flush came. A 3 flushed board, so yeah, Xantis folded his weak second pair, which I guess is fine. Also, it's very open and dependent once again. Table number 1, Xantis defends his pair of 9s. No. He can call. He can call at least once. I disagree with this fold on the flop. I mean, it would be interesting to see the opponent's statistics, but this flop and this hand deserve to call on the flop. I mean, of course his opponent might have a 6 or a king that would beat Xantis' pair of 9s, but I think it's too weak to fold this on such a flop. Table number 1, of course, pair of jacks. It's a 3-bet. Now he gets 4-bet by Betterman. Once again, it's very open and dependent, but the standard play is to 5-bet shove. Okay, that's what he does. Yeah, that's unlucky. It's very open and dependent, but it's most of the time it's the correct play. So it looks like Xantis is underrolled when he plays this session. I know Xantis experienced a very unlucky period. That's the least one could say. When he was recording, yeah, it's more or less when he was recording this session at the same period, so he was running way under EV, so maybe that's why he hasn't got more money on his account. So table number 3, it checked back flop turn, and he can value bet river now. Facing a check raise, yeah, would put him in a pretty hard spot, but I guess it's a fold. Yeah, his hand is very face up. I mean, he's representing a weak case, and the board was pretty scary for a weak top pair. Okay, so I guess he closed. Maybe he was playing all the tables and he closed one of them so that he could reload. He defends pair of 7, table 2. Yeah, defending it, calling it. I mean, defending the pair of 7 in the passive way is correct when you're at the big blind, and it's check fold and such a flop. Unfortunately, he posted on the table 1, which is a mistake. I know it depends on the poker room you're playing. Sometimes it's pretty hard not to post, but yeah, you have to be careful with this. Maybe you should have played it because he would have flopped the straight, but no, I guess. I mean, posting is a mistake and folding was the correct play. Table number 2, he flopped top pair, pretty drawy board, so yeah, of course it's a c-bet. A3 against a min open. Personally, I would defend almost any hand, but in this case A3 is really weak holding. It's the bottom of any range, and moreover our opponent Zulog plays 50 big blinds, so there are less implied odds when we flop, when we get a better hand. It will be very hard to get a better hand, well, a good hand that will let us value bet, and we won't be playing deep, so we we can't bluff him too much. Table 1, Xanthis opens pair of deuces on the hijack, and against two opponents he doesn't see bet on such a board. It's pretty standard. He gives up, okay. Table 4 is isolating Zolog, which seems to be a large player. And Zolog folds. Xanthis folded, he just folded King Jack suited, ended again. This depends on how you feel the table. I mean, it can be bad to fold King Jack suited ended again, but sometimes, depending on the position, depending on your opponents, sometimes I would open it. But yeah, that would be the first, the bottom of the opening range. Table 3, he folds 8-7 suited at the bottom. Against the ended again open raiser. This is the kind of hand you can play. But there again, it's not a big mistake to fold it. It's always better to play such hands when there are several players involved before you make your decision. You will get much better implied odds, and there was only one raiser. But well, both of the players, the open raiser, the preflop open raiser, and Xanthis were playing 100 big blind deep, so that's the minimum to play 8-7 suited in position against only one player. It's much better when you're playing 150 big blinds or 200 big blinds. Table number 2, he folds pair of deuces against the 3-bet. Standard. Table number 3, pair of tens. I guess you will 3-bet call, which is standard too. But the button folds, so now he should open it and play one more hand against better man who folds. Okay, he's played several hands against better man. 10-7 suited, cut off. Oh no, it's an open raise for sure. You want to be playing hands in position against the weaker player, so you've got to widen your opening range when you're playing at the cutoff. I mean, that's exactly the kind of situation you want. Being at the cutoff with no open raiser before you and playing a hand in position against the weaker players, that's exactly the kind of situation you play poker for. Now 10-7 suited, it's a fold because he's playing the hijack. Table 2 ace 10 suited, of course it's an open raise. Not too much to say now, right now. Not a lot of action. So far, we saw Xantis value betting thin his set of faces, his top set. That was an interesting hand. And yeah, we saw his jacks losing a big pot at 2000 NL at the table 1 against Betterman's pair of queens. And we also saw Xantis getting outdrawn by the open-ended straight draw from Betterman when Xantis had his pair of kings. And we saw that Xantis made a few mistakes. He didn't open raise one or two hands when he was in good positions, and we saw him folding a pair of 9 on a pretty dry board. Of course he was out of position, but if you want to defend a pair of 9 and the board comes king 6-6, I mean, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to check call on such king X boards, queen X boards, even ace X boards. At least once. You can call at least once. And then table 2 is 3-betting 7-5 suited as a bluff, as a semi-bluff, but well, mainly as a bluff. Pair of tens, table 2 pretty standard, not too much to say. The board is not great. C-betting half pot. Yeah. The C-bet size. The C-bet size means weakness. I mean, on such a drawy board, if you've got, yeah, of course, if you've got a strong hand, you will never c-bet half pot. So yeah, he was claiming I'm weak with such a weak c-bet size. And the opponent, yeah, saw that too and bluffed him. I think I'm gonna wrap up this video now. Oh, 35. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait 5 or 10 minutes more. I know that there are a few hands coming next that will be more exciting. Table 1, Xantis 3-bets DM, which is the weaker player, with king 9 offsuit, yeah, and wins the pot. Of course, it's a 3-bet as a bluff because king 9 offsuit is very weak. From the cutoff, he opens 8-6 offsuit. Once again, the only reason to be opening 8-6 ace-6 offsuit is that he's facing a weaker player in the big blinds, in the big blind position. Easy bets on a drawy board. Turns top pair. It's obviously a second barrel because there were many draws. He had to protect his top pair. I don't know if Xantis realized that playing a 3-handed table is very different from playing a 6-handed table. It's a different game, and I'm not sure it's a good idea to play both in the same time. Table number 1, Xantis isolates as a bluff with king 3 suited. Of course, there's a lot of deception. Maybe Betterman realized that Xantis wanted to play many hands against DM, and I guess he's adapting. Table number 2, ace queen suited, of course. It's an open raise, standard. The tables are pretty tight. We can see many flops, we can see many post-flop plays. Table number 1, Xantis gives up with queen eye on ace 6-5, double suited against 2 opponents. Yeah, I guess it's okay. He gives back. table 2, standard open, 5-4 suited. The opponent will very often flop something on such a board. That's why I guess he gives up. It's correct. Now it depends on the defending frequency of the opponent. If he defends any hand, he could sometimes 3-bet. He could sometimes c-bet, sorry. Even with 5i. Table number 2 is facing a pretty tight reg. Highest cards is tight. And yeah, highest cards falls against the 3-bet out of position. Highest cards is a good regular. Table number 2 is c-bets. Xanthi c-bets on 10-4-4 and gets a fold. Pretty standard. Yeah, players are tight at these tables. You can see many action. Ongame is a network which has been dying slowly during the past few years, and yeah, there used to be lots of ethics problems between the regs, button stealings, and the software was not perfect. That's the least we could say, and a few people managed to take advantage of that. You can find on internet many posts about the, how did we call that, the script, the auto-sit script. Yeah, it used to be called like that. It was a script that, because when you play Ongame, I first have to say that when you play Ongame, there's no waiting list. You can't wait when a table is full. Well, you have to wait, but I mean, there's no waiting list. So yeah, a few cheaters, well, I mean many cheaters, managed to find an auto-sit script which allowed them to sit at the table when a player was leaving it. So it was almost like a waiting list, as if they had a waiting list. Good call, table 1, and the good call gets no reward. Yeah, ace 3 sorry, against an open shove for 30 big blinds. Not even 30 big blinds, it was, yeah, 15 big blinds, so it was an easy call. King Jack gets bottom 2 pairs. Bottom 2 pair on such a board, yeah, of course, c-bet. tries to milk. The bet sizing is fine. Now we can shove the river, but will he get many calls? I don't know. Maybe he could have called. He could have bet a bit higher at the turn, so that the shove, so that he can more easily shove the river. I mean, it was an overbet, but if you wanted to shove the river with his betting size, with the betting pattern he used, but he should have shoved. I mean, the remaining stack was only 10% higher than the pot, so it was a shove. He should have shoved. Once again, I can't see any point in continuing playing a 3-handed table with the two same opponents. And yeah, I don't know these players, but yeah, they seem to be playing other tables, but if I were Xantis, I would try to pay attention to these two players. I mean, yeah, they are playing both tables. Yeah, they seem to be pretty honest. I mean, what I mean is that when you can see two players playing, when you can see two players playing 300 tables, and when you can see them always I can't see any point in this check raise unless he thinks that his hand will be too hard to play post flop. Well, I mean, too hard to play at the turn. Well, he's got such good odds. It's hard to fold, but yeah. Let's see that once again. So, he's defending a pair of sixes, which is standard. He calls, he could have 3-bet it. Okay, so now what statistic is he looking for? Yeah, hopefully we could see. The problem is that we can't see the still percentage at the button. Yes, here it is, 80% still percentage from the button, but the number of hands is very well, we've got very little hands, so it's not very relevant, these statistics. But yeah, the button seems to open 80% of his hands. I guess he wants to check raise for value on such a board, such a dry board, but I really think it's better to check call the flop and check call the turn. Now when the river comes, he's getting very, very good odds. He's got to pay 355, and the pot is, well, the pot will be 1,600 more or less. So yeah, he's got to, he's got a 4-1 odds, and yeah, this means that he's got to win the hand at least 20% of the time to get a profitable call. So yeah, I guess this is a call, but yeah, I guess this is a call, because, well, we don't know much about this opponent, but of course there's the flush draw. Would he have floated? I guess if he had floated flop and turn, he would never bluff the river with such a little amount, unless he puts Xantis on the flush draw. If he puts Xantis on the flush draw, of course, he doesn't have to bet very heavily, but this river bet screams the value bet. I mean, for me it's a value bet. It might be a thin value bet. I mean, QMS, let's call him QMS. QMS could have a pair of aces. I mean, a big pair, a big premium pair, like pair of queens, even pair of tens, and maybe pair of nines that he could value bet thin like this. I mean, bet folding, I guess. And now that I see this bet sizing, in fact, I guess QMS was trying to induce, I guess he was trying to induce a river shove, a check raise shove as a bluff from Xantis. I guess that was the point. Well, when you try to analyze this hand from at least the river situation from QMS point of view, I think the bet sizing is very good. I really do think that it's the best bet sizing. Of course, it depends on the meta game, on the river, the opponent, I mean, and the information you've got about this opponent. But I think the average, as an average play, it's the perfect play, because you can get value from weak hands, even ace-high hands, because, I mean, Xantis pair of sixes is pretty much like an ace-high hand. Now, I mean, at the flop, on the flop or on the turn, he was beating a deuce X hand, but would a deuce X hand call a check raise on the flop and a bet on the turn? I don't think so, unless QMS was holding like 5.2. But yeah, so back to our thinking. Yeah, QMS chose the perfect bet sizing here, because he could get value from a thin hand like ace high and more, and he could induce a check raise shove as a bluff from a busted flush draw. Yeah, from any hand without any, from any hand without any showdown equity. So yeah, perfect river bet sizing from QMS. I'm gonna wrap up this video right now. I hope you enjoyed it, even if there was not a lot of action, but I know the action will come later in the match, in the video. So yeah, you can contact me. Thank you. My website, poker-coach.net, and yeah, ask me whatever you want. You can also review this video and add some comments, because this video will be available at casino-poker-sport.com. Of course, you can post your comments and add whatever you want on the Facebook, on the YouTube interface. I think that maybe the next episodes of this series will be available at casino-poker-sport.com, but only for the premium members. But as I told you earlier, this is free to become a premium member. You only have to go there on this website, click on premium member, register here for free. Yeah, when it's written for free, this means that it's for free, believe me. So you can register here and follow the process. You won't have to pay anything to casino-poker-sport.com, and yeah, you will get full access to all the videos. So thank you very much for your attention, and see you. Bye bye.